Different between compilers and interpreters. To convert source code into machine code, we used either a compiler or an interpreter. Both compiler and interpreter are used to convert a program written in a high-level language into machine code understood by computers. However, there are differences between how an interpreter and compiler work. Working principle of compiler: source code processing, object code processing, figure. Compiler machine working principle of interpreter: source code processing, intermediate code processing, figure. Interpreter. Before entering to difference between compiler and interpreter, we have to understand two terms. A high-level language is one that is understandable by us, humans. This is called source code. A computer does not understand high-level language. It only understands the program written in zeros and ones in binary, called the machine code. Difference between interpreter: interpreter translates program one statement at a time. Interpreter usually take less amount of time to analyze the source code. However, the overall execution time is comparatively slower than compilers. No intermediate object code is generated. Compiler scans the entire program into machine code. Compiler usually take a large amount of time to analyze the source code. However, the overall execution time is comparatively faster than interpreters. Generates intermediate object code, which further requires linking. Difference between interpreter compiler: it require less memory to generate. Programming language like JavaScript, Python, Ruby use interpreter. It requires more memory to generate. Programming language like C, C++, Java use compilers.